everyone, and welcome to the Radiant Black podcast. This is a podcast focused on the Radiant Black series, as well as other Massiveverse titles by Kyle Higgins, Marcelo Acosta, Michael Basudo, Becca Carey, and everyone else over at the Black Market Narrative doing other titles. We're going to talk about the creators that are featured in this episode later on, but first I want to introduce my guests. I'm joined by my friends Ali, Matt, and Charlie. How's everyone doing today?
Yeah, I'm doing good. It's been a great couple of weeks, and I hope it continues. Had a lot of fun reading both Supermassive and Rogue Sun. It's probably the highlight of the month for me, so I'm excited to talk about it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and I want to say thanks for having me back on, guys. It was a lot of fun last time. Can't wait to talk about a couple of great issues. It's been a really crazy week and more to look forward to this whole month. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Hell yeah, Supermassive episode. We had to make it a Supermassive roster here, so... Of course, I'm pleased to have Charlie again. He's fucking awesome and representing Canada, of course. Go Canada.
Of course.
we got Nova Scotia on the map in Supermassive, by the way. Did you guys see that? It was actually properly drawn, not just like half-assed, like, yeah, whatever. It was actually drawn. Like,
you got to point that out for sure.
Man, can I, first of all, before we dive into, and we're going to be talking about Rogue Sun #1 and Supermassive, but first, obviously, we're going to talk about Supermassive because that came out before Rogue Sun. Before we get into it, can we please talk about how amazing, beautiful the binding and the book just was, like, in terms of presentation and, everything?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't got my physical copy yet. I did buy the Capullo variant for more than I should have, and it's nice. So I won't be looking at the bindings of that either. I'll be like encasing that in kryptonite or whatever. But yeah, from what I can tell, it's nice. Bash, you have a physical copy, I presume.
Oh yeah, dude, I got like 5 or 6 of the or more of the regular one, and then I got like I those 3 ratios, like, I'll admit the truth. So those 3 ratios aren't actually mine. One of them is mine, but the other 2 are my friends. We all ordered one each, and we shipped them to our friend in America because we found a store with very good discount. But we wanted to show off, of course, because just why not, the Brainy Black.
That's a gorgeous cover too, like Capullo. That's a dope one.
Capullo, like I talk about, like this guy is a legend. Like that's why I'm saying next up McFarlane. Let's put pressure. Like everyone out there, like tweet at Todd. Just tell him like, yo, stop giving us some damn action. Every time he's freaking releasing a new action figure, it's a Batman variant. And I'm like, dude, just give us Radiant Black. like give us something else. Like, I know that's a rights thing, and probably we're not there yet, whatever. But one day.
You say like Capullo's a legend, like it's information that people need to know. It's not already like well known. Like his stuff is amazing. When you see it's like, oh, that's bad. Of course it's Capullo. Like it has that grit and badassness about it. Like Capullo's stuff is the shit.
Yeah, and these foils are gonna be absolutely crazy. Cannot wait for those.
Oh yeah, that was quite a day. We were just watching the whole community, on Discord, on Twitter, on all the social media. We were just watching everyone buy their copies. Everybody was so happy to secure their copies. We're watching the price go up because nobody knew what the price was going to be.
I do want to say real quick, thank you to Kyle for the early bird pricing, because that was a pretty cool move.
It's a legend. It's a legend thing.
You dropped that in the Discord?
Yeah, man, and because they priced it. Like, it was early bird pricing for the community and everyone else. Like, it was much cheaper than later on, and it wasn't just for
it was a while
for everybody.
Like the first 3 hours.
Yeah, it was like 3 or 4 hours.
Oh yeah, I don't think we were told at the time, right? And
no, we had no idea.
Nobody was told anything. The only thing we were told, like, and this was open information. Comic Sketch Art tweeted on Twitter that they were gonna have the covers out around like 8 a.m. or something, right? 9 a.m. something like that. Yeah. And then everybody was waiting. And I remember, like, they were like 20 or 30 minutes late. Like, they didn't come out on time. And everybody was concerned, and people were wondering if Kyle just forgot or something. Then, nope, boom, they dropped, and everyone was surprised by the pricing. It was very good, very, very, like, honestly, very fair, very, even generous pricing. And, everybody bought their copies. Some people even bought 2. And I know who bought 3, but he's a deer, and he knows who he is. But yeah, congratulations to everyone who got a copy. Like, that's awesome. We all know how big a deal this is for people who are huge Massiveverse Radiant Black fans, and after reading it, just wow.
This is the book that ushers in the Massiveverse. This is like a big deal issue, not even talking about the debuts and like what it hints towards. There's a lot of foreshadowing for the future. We even have Malzahar's minions coming after Rogue Sun in the future. It's amazing. So yeah, it's good stuff. And these superheroes did well. It's a lot that you have to do to incorporate 2 superheroes we haven't really heard of. I know that Inferno Girl Red is out in the wild for those that have Kickstarter, right? Has it printed yet or no?
No.
No, okay, then
No, this is the first appearance of Infernal Girl Red and Rogue Sun.
Okay, great. So, by the way, we're going full spoilers for Rogue Sun today. So, if you haven't read Rogue Sun yet, do yourself a favor and read Rogue Sun. It's pretty sweet. And we are going to talk about how these two kind of connect.
But right now, I feel like
All
anything
right.
pre-Rogue Sun, as long as we don't talk about anything in Rogue Sun 1, that's fine.
There's foreshadowing at the end of Supermassive, like what he says.
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah, I know it was a really cool crossover and down as hell to talk about it. I got pumped up. Like the robot stuff in Supermassive, like, goddamn. Like you can see the Power Rangers in.
Let's go through it from the start. Yeah, let's go through it because it's gonna be quick. Right? Supermassive is relatively quick. We're not gonna go detail because this, like we said, this is like like Kyle said, this is like a huge blockbuster thing. It's not like a six.
I thought the huge blockbuster was Spider-Man E.T. No Way Home.
No, we're gonna get to that
Phone
later.
home, yeah.
That made me actually
That was
laugh.
hilarious.
Yeah, no, but
and it works because the story is very similar to No Way Home, right? Like you can tell that Higgins and Groom and Parrott were in the theater going, God damn it, we're publishing
this is their pitch. Yeah. This is their low key pitch right now, Sony. I hope you're watching, but no, I hope you're listening actually. But
don't give it to Sony, please. Someone good.
Yeah, we're not going to go through this in detail because the issue is very blockbuster, very action-packed, and it was just, that's what it's meant to be. So we start out with like just a really cool deer. Obviously, you want to praise the amazing work by the writing team is obviously fantastic. Kyle Higgins, Ryan Parrott, Matt Groom, but we also have fantastic artwork and coloring by Francesco Mana, Simone Ragazzoni, Igor Monti, and incredible lettering by Becca Carey. And you could just see right off the bat, right? Like first 2 pages, the colors are literally out of this world. We see my jaw dropped when I saw that page 2, boom, there's Infernal Girl Red in all her glory. And like, what a way to make an introduction. I feel like that is the perfect page. We talked about previously in this podcast how in the first issue, one of the most iconic pages that you'll always remember as a Radiant Black fan reading Radiant Black is that first page when he first gets his costume on. We know it's not Marshall at that point, but still, that moment when you see Radiant Black for the first time, you'll never forget it. It was a gorgeous page, and I just felt the same way for this Infernal Girl Red page, right?
Yeah. No, that's a good way of putting it. It's awesome. We're getting right to it. I mean, the deer doesn't even have time to breathe. It's getting messed up, and then we get demons coming through here, which kind of look like. I forget my comparison. No, it reminds me of a character from Rivals of Aether. Shout out to the 15 people that know that game. But yeah, it's really sweet. And there's a lot of interdimensional stuff going through here. So yeah, I didn't know for sure, but now we know Infernal Girl Red comes from her own universe. Crossovers are kind of difficult, but as we mentioned, we know Radiant Pink could definitely pull her back in the future if ever we need her.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I guess once we get a little more extent of her like multiversal travels or the bigger, wider universe, we'll get a little more rules for that. But that'll be really cool to see. I'm curious to see that. And I wanted to say these colors. I needed to. I don't know if it was the red, the orange, and the blue, but a blacklight version of this comic later on when these guys are flying. Man, like I just saw that like the whole time.
Because the colors as they are already amazing. So
yeah, like
blacklight, that would be a whole new experience.
The presentation for this was smooth. Like Basuto always kills it, but it looked really slick. And the lettering, of course, from Becca Carey, right? It was Becca doing the lettering, presumably, right? Yep. Yeah, like the whole team was firing on all cylinders. Like me on the basketball court, these guys don't miss. Like it's freaking amazing. Like cool. It's just clean, just like the Supermassive. Like it's so sleek. The title page with them in the background. Oh, it's so clean.
We get our first. Introduction to the context of what's going on. We see Jace, shout out to Comic Jace, who's featured here just to die, unfortunately. But what a death. Spoiler. Anyway, we see that he's out there looking for some. They're investigating some interdimensional energy transmissions. We see that apparently it's XL or. Not XL, sorry. We see that it's the guys from Epic Front, right? That's what they call Epic Front?
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, so the same guys who've been, giving tech or whatever to Sonya. And just like it's interesting that we have that immediate connection to Radiant Black. So immediately we know that this is going to be something associated with Radiant Black in some way. And yeah, the dude keeps going. He keeps looking and, he encounters this demon. Like this was actually kind of scary. Like imagine you see this thing running at you. Like I don't know. Anyway, yeah, he reacted as anyone would and got chomped to bits, and then we get the huge intro page, which is gorgeous.
No, this is an enticing intro. We already have the threat established as well as enter Inferno Glow Red. You've got a lot to do with these 55 pages or 51 pages, and they're not wasting their time.
Yeah. Another thing I've noticed is our first introduction to Rogue Sun is it's amazing. It kind of gives you the sense for how this guy kind of operates. Marcus he doesn't fuck around. Like this guy immediately wants to pick a fight. You know what I mean? He'd rather shoot first, ask questions later, as we see. So he encounters, some sort of demon who's clearly stepped out of his territory. And first thing he does is just give him the whoop down, tells him the first and last time, he's Rogue Sun, the realm is off limits. Make sure, you can make a choice right now. I could, burn you or, and, and send you that way.
This is Dalaran and it's an Alliance server. Get off my realm, buddy. Like, get out of here.
You could definitely tell he knows what he's doing. Like he's been doing this for a long time. It's not like Marshall who's kind of like winging it half the time, figuring it out as he goes. He's been through the ringer already. Doesn't have time to waste on these guys.
No, he's badass with like, now I can either take you into custody or burn your face off with hellfire.
Yeah.
Like he's not backing down. It's badass. And Rogue Sun he's freaking awesome.
Yeah, I mean, you got a guy with 2 axes who straight up just was like, we relent. I mean, if that doesn't tell you something about Marcus, then I don't know what will.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but we see, anyway, this is the interesting part that I think a lot of people didn't recognize in their first read through. We see here that he's talking to someone. And after reading Rogue Sun, well, spoiler alert, we'll have some assumptions, you know what I mean? But we're not going to talk about that yet. But it's interesting to speculate right now on who he's talking to, because clearly if it's someone he trusts enough with his identity as a Rogue Sun, then it's someone important. Obviously, we probably have the answer now that we've read Rogue Sun, but that's something we'll discuss later on.
I couldn't believe that he had a robot maid named Jules. That was so cool.
No, but man, that panel where he he puts on his helmet is so freaking cool. Like that just reminds me of like Tony Stark, Iron Man, and like the MCU scenes.
Yeah, it looks pretty kind of similar to the Radiant helmet, but not really. Like it looks very symbiotic. Like it.
Yeah.
I wonder if there'll be a connection, right? Because he uses the Sunstone, and that part's part of a black hole, so it's both like intergalactic kind of stuff, right? So I don't know if there might not be some connection, but it is almost similar.
Gives me
all the energies.
Vibes. Yeah.
Yeah. All the energies seem to kind of collect together. So yeah, you could be onto something there.
Yeah, Bash, what'd you say?
I was saying he gives me like Elsa Bloodstone vibes. Like, but Elsa has the Bloodstone and her powers come from that. This guy has the Sunstone. It's like similar in a way, but it's really cool. Like, I really like this take. I like, as we were saying before, this book feels like it has a slightly gothic like aesthetic to it, where the tones are darker, but there's still a lot of bright colors, and it's almost setting this like bleaky tone. And I feel that immediately we see that as we go from this hero who, in this page we're talking about, he's on the phone, he's cocky, he just took care of this like quick, just thing on the side of the road real quick while he's on his way out. And then we'll see what happens next to him. But we cut to our friends and the most pivotal scene here, where Matt pointed out earlier, we cut to a movie theater, of course, or sorry, a movie store, or is it a theater? It's a theater. I didn't know Real World has a theater inside it as well. What the fuck? Anyway,
and Marshall's already has it on 4K as well. He already owns this movie on 4K, but they're replaying it. So I don't know. Anyways, continue.
Yeah, so we're back in Lockport, Illinois.
No, this is just Real World. This is his work. They've got a theater in Real World. This is news to me.
Yeah,
it's Real World.
We're just finding this out now.
That's
half store, half theater.
That's lit.
Yeah,
okay.
that's old school.
It's original.
Also,
I like it.
Marshall goes on dates with Nathan and his girlfriend. That's what I'm wondering.
That's the first thing I thought. But before we get into that, can we appreciate this man's movie taste? Spider-Man versus E.T. Phone Home. Ladies and gentlemen, we've seen Spider-Man No Way Home, but Spider-Man versus E.T. Home. Come on, with E.T. Phone Home. Like that's a winner.
That's the crossover everybody's been waiting for.
Probably in this one there probably is a universe where the E.T. police actually do use like walkie-talkies instead of guns. So that could actually make sense. But yeah, anyways, I really dug this. Is this supposed to be JJ/Justine on the date with Nathan?
See, that's the thing that I honestly couldn't figure out. Like, I really can't tell. I don't think
they're both
so,
redheads. I think
I assume so because
Yeah.
of the redhead. and
Yeah.
kind of
It's like her hair's kind
Now
of
that I think about it, yeah, it could just be it because it's a different artist, has a slightly different take on
she
her.
came
he's
all
like
the way
Morty,
back to
he's got a
check
type.
on him. Yeah.
Yeah, nursing,
I mean-
good old,
I just want to say real quick, thank God Marshall sat one row down and not right next to them.
I just wish he was eating the popcorn.
Well, like, what is the purpose of this? Like, are they such good friends that he can't like not go with him to the movies, or is he like trying to like wingman him?
I don't think the girl knows that
Here's how-
he's there. Maybe.
Here it is. You can only get in because it's Marshall, and he works there, so he can't not tag along. So that's what. Or is he still fired? Did he get his job back yet? No. So it's even worse. He's like going to. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's the
Oh,
butt
it
disease,
says the
but I
guy
don't know
with
if
the
he.
hot redhead who wants to kill him. And it's just like I love how it like turns into like whatever at the end, and it's just like hello, Marshall. First of all, I just want to say I don't know if the implication is that he's looking at the big mech at the movie theater screen, but if it is, that's pretty freaking cool because like that's just a really cool way to illustrate the scene. And yeah, like it's really interesting that we see this because this is like. We could see that the relationship between the mech and Marshall is starting to change a little bit. It's almost like they're starting to have some sort of rapport. Here, it's like notifying him that there's like something you have to look into. Like you have a responsibility now, blah blah blah. Right? Like you got to look.
It's like
into
Ash
this.
and Pikachu, really. In the first episode, they fought all the Spearow off, and now he's got himself a Pokemon ready to use in battle later on, as we see with the
Except
epic
Marshall's the Pokemon, right? Like just.
Yeah, you never know. But
Because
yeah, no,
I've seen mechs suck things into him, so I'm just saying.
That's true. That's true. No, but it's really cool. Like right off the bat, we're getting the robot like super early in this issue, and this crossovers have this kind of thing. I can't really describe it, where it's like you kind of have to like tie things together. It's like it's weird that the robot is talking about this threat when we really only had the intergalactic threat. I can't really describe this phenomenon that like appears in crossovers properly, but it's really weird. If someone knows what I'm talking about, knows I'm not crazy, message me in the Discord. But yeah, it's cool. And he says, Marshall says, we've got a real change coming up. So does that mean they're going to watch multiple movies? Is this like a marathon? I think it is.
Oh my god, maybe because there's not many people in the theater. Yeah.
Either way, I don't think JJ is going to stick around that long. She looks a little pissed off about like these guys texting about their superpowers. Like I just want to watch a good Spider-Man ET movie.
Yeah. I just love Nathan's reaction to watching Marshall leave. He's just like, oh, like Justine presumably is just like, where's he going? He's like, oh, he's somewhere awesome. Yeah.
It is nice to see though that it looks like they're on better terms. I think after issue 11, we kind of got the vibe that Nathan was a little kind of irked or annoyed by Marshall having the rating, but it looks like they're back on good terms now.
Yeah, he's listening to Sonya's Cosmic Podcast. God knows.
Yeah. Well, Nathan's got time now. He could go right, but I mean that's got to bug you a bit. If you had that power, he could go full Smeagol right now. He could be biting off fingers before we get to issue 24, really, and throwing people into Mount Doom. Like, who knows?
Jesus Christ.
You took me a while, but yeah.
You heard it here.
You never know. God. Let's hope he keeps his hair.
Mount Doom. It's funny. Anyways, it's a lot of Lord of the Rings.
We already got Sauron coming to join him in a few minutes, so whatever. Well, he doesn't know Sauron. Anyway.
So we jump back to Inferno Girl Red, and we see that boom, Rogue Sun's next rendezvous is actually here because he's encountered some disturbance apparently new to this universe, and we see that he's kind of an ass, like he's just mean to people. You know what I mean? Like he's just straight up telling Inferno Girl to just head back on where she came from, and she's just like, look man, like that's what I'm trying to do, but you don't got to be like that, and he's just like, oh my god, there's something else I got to take care of, and this kid's here, like why don't
we know he's been divorced
back?
Twice. You don't get there without being a little sarcastic or a little snarky. So yeah, he's a but IGR can dish it right back. I loved her line about like, and you're like a goth flavored superhero or a night themed demon, like goth flavored. I love that terminology. So good.
Yeah, no, Matt Groom definitely kicking some ass from his writing. I'm definitely looking forward to Inferno Girl Red later this year.
You could feel the fun. You could feel these guys had a ton of fun writing this issue.
Her design is just awesome, to be honest. But yeah, the next page, we see them interacting more. He tells her like, this is what I do. He's kind of being more of an ass about it. Like I don't need a kid to tell me what to do, blah blah blah. And then of course we get the main man himself. Marshall shows up and he's just like, oh my god, you guys started the crossover without me. And
I love it. He just saw the amazing. I mean, we left the Amazing Spider-Man theater, but we left the clips there. But the clips are coming with us, where we are. It's so Spider-Man-y with your sarcasm. Like Spider-Man isn't that meta with like fourth wall breaking, but the best way for Radiant Black to join this crossover is mentioning, oh, you're gonna start without me. I love that.
Yeah, for sure. Only fitting. And I love the gravity around these guys, and it shows how powerful he is. Like they can't really
and
do
this is
anything.
why we're not getting a Radiant Blue. How are we gonna get a Radiant Blue when his powers are blue?
That's true.
People are always like, oh, like when are we getting a Radiant Blue? Like what's Radiant Blue gonna do? Shoot like water at you? Like you know what I mean? Like it's gonna be.
Are we gonna do some things with fish?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Give me Radiant Purple.
know.
I think Radiant Green, like people saying that's possible, but it's difficult because of the whole Green Lantern thing they talked about before.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to the topic at hand. We see the first, instance of camaraderie and conversation around them. They hit the ground talking. I really like. I feel like I don't know if this is like deliberate, but you can feel like the difference in generation between Marshall and Cassia and Marcus, because Marcus being like the grizzled old veteran, the dude with the divorces, he's just like a bitter asshole. But Marshall is like, he could be a bit of an ass. He's cheeky, but like he's very friendly when it comes to other superheroes. He's almost like he's a kid looking. He reminds me of like the Flash in the Justice League when he met Batman for the first time. He's like, oh my god, you know what I mean? Like, oh, there's other heroes. Oh, like I'm Marshall. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, it's a good point. He also knows of Rogue Sun, so there's almost like a bit of like a celebrity thing. Yeah. I was like, oh yeah, I've seen you over Mardi Gras, and I love that he has to mention that he was flying high, haha, quote unquote. I do love the way this series handles, marijuana use in a superhero. He smokes sometimes only when he's depressed, and he's busy all the time. He's not like, so they don't do it. They don't stereotype it, and they don't say do it all the time, because people drink all the time, and so does Marshall. But they don't overdo it. But it is rare. How many superheroes do you know that smoke pot? You don't see it. That's another way this series is, kind of breaking the mold a little bit.
That's a good. Yeah, no, that is a good point. It's pretty interesting there,
and also sells it.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I did notice on looking on the next page there, is that like a birthmark over Cassia's eye, or
yeah,
I wasn't
I'm pretty sure.
That's what I think it is, but we don't know yet because
I think it's a birthmark.
I guess that'll be explained.
Yeah, I think it will be explained. But I told what's his name, Matt Groom, during our interview, I was like, Matt, like that's awesome. Reminds me a lot of.
It looks kind of cool. Yeah,
it reminds me of Echo, like in the comics.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, she has the whole palm thing on her face, the whole handprint. Sorry. And I also love her rationalization. I like that even though she's younger than all of them, and she's like presumably, I think she's a teenager.
I think she's like 16, yeah.
Yeah, she says like, she can see that she's very calculated in her approach. She's like, I suppose there's not much point hiding my identity in a whole other universe. So it's like at least something she's considered. I like when superheroes think about things like that because it doesn't matter. It was like, I know with Marshall you could tell just completely revolves around his like more narcissistic personality where he's just like, oh, hello.
Yeah, and she's got Cassia Costa, the like alliteration name, classic Marvel superhero naming convention.
Oh, yeah.
She was fun.
The first shot of them all together, beautiful with their masks off, except for Marcus, of course, because he's an edgelord. And that's right, I used that word. And
they called him edgelord too, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. So in the next page, we see Jace turning into a big demon thing. Like I'm not sure what the proverbial term is, but he turns into a big goon. And next thing you know. The three of them are almost like they're having like an ego contest thing where they're all trying to deal with it first, almost like, oh, I want to go save the day. I want to go save the day. And they don't realize that what Radiant Black just told them that, this thing vampires powers according to him. So every time they hit it with any of their powers, it seems to be making the thing even more strong because it seems
to be doomsday-esque.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a really good way to put it. Doomsday-esque, and then we get the next page, which we'll all talk about here, but I'll introduce real quick because I know you guys want to talk about this. The moment that the big demon explodes and unloads all this like cosmic energy with unbelievable colors by Igor, like seriously.
Yeah, Igor's come to play today. We're dialing it up to 101%. He's fucking nailing it. Like Igor's my favorite colorist in comics, bar none. Like currently.
No, Igor is unbelievable right now. Like if you like, please appreciate this person's colors because they are truly unbelievable. And
please get him more Twitter followers too. I forgot what the number he's trying to reach, but he deserves more Twitter followers than he has right now.
Oh yeah, and we'll be singing his praises later on during the final fight because it's amazing. But his colors are amazing throughout. But we do get our second God damn it, which is like my favorite use of God damn it in the Radiant Black series. I'm pretty sure he's done that before, right? Where he just barely gets hit. Oh, I love it when he says that.
Yeah,
So
but
good.
after that, we get one of the most important pages of this issue is that we get all three of them have this like epiphany moment where they almost could see the future. And I was like speculating earlier whether this is them almost gaining like temporarily powers of like radiant yellow, or maybe this is how his powers are, like whether he could see the future because he said he could kind of see it. But yeah, they almost get a vision where they're like seeing the future, and you see real world, you see in Marshall's vision. And we'll unpack this right now. We see, first of all, there's 5 images. And then the first one, we see just real world, just torn to bits, freaking death everywhere. And the next one, we see what I'm assuming is Lockport, Illinois, or just somewhere in America, just totally blown up. And then you zoom out to another layer, and you see that it's just a lot of parts of the earth
Dude,
are
like
totally
that's a lot.
decimated. Yeah, and you see those people we
That's a
saw
lot,
from a few issues ago, Radiant
Issue
Black.
7 or 6.
It's the one where they get ported up into space by accident with Pink.
And then
You see
Radiant
those
Teal looking
beings.
pissed off.
Yeah,
whoever this dude
Radiant
is.
Teal. Yo, that person looks very like Thragish. Like we've been talking about, or maybe not Thrag, but we've been talking about like who is like this big character leading this army, or who's pulling some strings in this whole like
He looks
Radiant
fucking
quartet.
sick. He's got the flaming head.
Man.
Oh my god.
Oh
He
my
does.
god.
Yeah, no,
He's just-
those colors are unreal. I don't know what color this is. I've been kind of calling it like a phantom, like
Igor
phantom
invented a new
radiant
one I
or
heard last
something like
weekend.
That's
in his
really
lab.
cool. That's a good name. Phantom Radiant.
Phantom
I just
Radiant.
call them Radiant Ascendant.
Radiant Ascent? Yeah, no,
I've
but
seen some people call him like Spectrum Radiant or something like that.
Ooh.
Spectrum Radiant.
I guess
yeah, that's good.
we'll find out soon enough. Because I mean, if you mix all colors together,
But like I'm assuming, Kyle, having 3 writers on something like this, you have to not only balance the theme, balance the tone of the story, balance all the narrative things that you're trying to do, right? The plots and everything, but plot points, but also you want to put in little crumbs for the future for each of your series, right? You want to tease the readers for something that's going to come down the line so that they could go grab your comic. And
Yep.
I think Kyle doing this here is awesome because it really gives you a sense of the scale that we've all been looking for. We've all been asking, and this is all of us, not just us on the podcast here, not just us on the Discord, but everybody who reads Radiant Black. They're like, when are we going to see those space moments? When are we going to see like the real space moments? Like, when are we going to see people fighting in the cosmic, all that craziness?
It's coming.
It's coming.
Soon.
Yeah, like it's coming. And they gave us a taste here in this issue through the multi-dimensional stuff and all the different heroes and everything. We're getting a taste of it here, but to see this, a glimpse of the future, it's amazing. We see here that this new player, the design is incredible. We've seen is like the back shot. So I don't know what it is about Radiant Ass that they're always teasing us with, but so we get a shot of the eye shot, the classic, eye shot and the side eye, blah
also,
blah.
real quick, this gave me the vibe that he sees Marshall looking at him. If that makes sense, like he's kind of like,
Yeah, like the
or
eyes
he knows he's
down.
being watched.
Like
Yeah.
there's a stare, like a far stare down going on.
Yeah, because why would he
They
turn
got some
around
super
and say
vision-
soon,
yeah.
right? Like
I guess we don't know. He could have some super long vision. Why
And he
not?
could probably scan for these things. Like maybe he can feel the
Yeah.
radiant himself. I
Yeah.
imagine, right?
Yeah.
Some Dragon Ball Z.
Oh
shit.
yeah, he could definitely feel it for sure. Yeah, that's true.
One thing I wondered, if
Assuming.
real world burns down and the firefighters come in and spray down the building, will there be like bath bomb water like running down the streets because of all the bath bombs?
Oh my god.
That would be the only good thing to come out of that.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
true. But in Cassia's vision, we get a completely different glimpse of what's going on, and I'm assuming this is Apex City, the city that's described to be where Cassia is from, and we see these really weird like crabs, like the demon crabs that are just
Yeah.
like chasing this little girl. But the best part of this is that while this girl's all crouched up and trying to avoid these things, someone saves her, and we get a glimpse at these 3 like Power Rangers almost.
There's your
looking
green,
looking
and
characters.
we
Yep,
get blue.
there's your green and red. It's
Yeah.
like, are those Inferno girl green, Inferno girl blue, or just some sort of something, or maybe they're not Inferno, maybe they're something else. Maybe they're like, I don't know, I don't know.
The figures look feminine, so this could be a
Aqua
very
girl.
Yeah,
I don't
Aqua
know.
girl or
Aqua
like,
blue.
Environment Girl Green.
Green grass.
Captain Planet shit up in this. But no, I think it's really cool. So that's potentially 2 cameos right on top of Phantom Radiant back there. So this would be.
I just love the narrative aspect of it, of just teasing us of the cool things that are to come, because we have no idea. As people who I personally missed out on the Kickstarter for the Infernal Go Red, unfortunately, but you betcha I'll be there for future ones. But anyway, I know people have gotten their first few teases at Inferno Girl Red if you've like contributed to the Kickstarter, because they posted some things online. And I don't know how much of the story or narrative they've shown, but for me, this is like the first real exposure into Cassia's world. So.
And she's fun. She's fun as hell.
Oh yeah, and her design is amazing. I actually really enjoy her character. Yeah.
I think she looks the most Power Rangery of the 3.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure.
100%.
That's not a bad thing.
No.
Moving on to the next page, can I talk? Can I mention a spoiler about Rogue Sun? I mean,
spoiler alert, maybe.
We know
spoiler alert. Yeah,
this has been mentioned by Ryan before about like it shows presumably a death of Marcus Randall Bell, right? Like we see it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we know the premise.
Yeah, that was in the ad.
Yeah, his son gets the power. So I didn't really realize this myself until just thinking about it now. But yeah, this is Marcus seeing his death and then seeing is it Dylan that takes on the mantle? Yeah, we see Dylan. So that is Dylan at the funeral with it. So he knew his son was going to. But then I could get into something even spoilery about the end of Rogue Sun, which I guess I will save it for the end of the podcast when we do talk about Rogue Sun. We'll save it for there. But yeah, I thought this was a very interesting way to do it. And I guess this is the first cameo of his family. I mean, is that a spoiler alert to show other family members of like? No. I mean, whatever. His family's.
You can see the 2 families. There's the first family with his wife and Dylan, and then there's the second family with Brock.
That's Ari and Dylan. And okay, so yeah, it's interesting. We see the family. So this guy thinks his death is coming. So I guess death isn't a shock for Marcus, which is interesting. And who's that figure at the bottom?
I can't tell. I've been staring at it for a while.
It's Naboo. No, I'm just kidding.
I think it's the big boss of whoever we're tangling with in Rogue Sun 1. But anyway,
it's probably like the actual the personification of the Sunstone or whatever, the power itself.
Yeah. I think it's Dormammu.
Or maybe he's just gone like binary mode there. He's just activated his flame on mode without the helmet.
No, I think it's Dormammu, and Parrot got the keys to the kingdom, and he'll be writing Doctor Strange and Rogue Sun at the same time. Jed just got kicked off. That's what I think this is indicating.
There we go.
We're foreshadowing Jed getting a new word.
We'll go a little bit faster here because a lot of it is skippable. But next page they get their asses whooped. Somehow we discovered that they've lost their powers. Everyone tries to reactivate their power. Doesn't seem to be budging. So what they decide to do is find some transportation and deal with that afterwards. And we get the charming. I don't know which writer suggested this particular line.
It's the best pun. It's the best pun.
Yeah, just you get this charming. Your insurance covers giant monster attacks, right? And I was like, I'm sorry. So
not even that, but current affairs, people. Oh, that's the best pun.
That is terrible.
Yes, you didn't know that. How dare you? That's why I'm here. Current affairs, people. It works because you are renting cars and see affairs. Oh my God! Like there should be an Eisner Award for puns in comics and Kyle Higgins. I mean, this feels like Higgins, but it could be Parrot or Groom. My God, it's so good. Sorry.
Yeah. So we see that this is essentially them getting to know each other, them bonding. We see immediately that Marshall and Cassia take to each other in terms of just being friends and having a good camaraderie, because they both seem more open to just getting through this thing with some teamwork. Whereas the feeling with Marcus is that he's much more of a loner. He's not really used to hanging out with others that he doesn't really approve of, from what it seems. And he's kind of an asshole to them. He's like very passive, hardly speaks to them. Whenever they're suggesting places to go, he seems to be really always denying them. And I think one of my favorite moments is, when they're sitting in the car, stopping at different places, getting gas or whatever. They stop at this Waffles house, and Cassie just asks, so the building's made entirely out of waffles? And Marshall
what a depressing world she comes from. No waffle houses. Jesus. Yeah, exactly. I would have been like Kirkman in The Walking Dead, jumping off a bridge in a few seconds there. But one thing, there's a lot of big Ice Cube energy coming from Marcus driving these people around, and like, are we there yet? Like, it's very, has anyone mentioned Are We There Yet in comparison to Supermassive? No, that's why you listen to this podcast. But I didn't expect to get a road trip comic in this. We got like a nice mini road trip arc, and it was so nice. It was something I didn't know I needed.
Yeah, and this is really good way to flesh out all the characters.
Yeah, it's true. I love how Cassie gets to drive for the first time, and she's like, "Yeah, it's really not that exciting." It's like, yeah, it kind of sucks once you get used to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's nice having those little back and forths between characters, and it's nice when they can isolate like parts of the group too. You can get like kind of individual relationships kind of build up there. So I really like that too.
And partially what I like about this is I love the dynamic between Marshall and Marcus, and there's a lot of like you can see that like he's not used to being Marcus isn't I don't think he's used to being a dad that much. Well, we learned that he wasn't around for much of his
No,
firstborn.
you can see he's shitty at like being a mentor, and you can see that Marshall's also looking for some advice from a veteran. Like this person is a veteran superhero. Marshall's trying to get a feel for like what he's what he's in for. And this dude's just like, am I supposed to feel sorry for you? You know what I mean? Like, is this like I was
I
eight
mean,
years
Marshall's
old,
trying really hard,
Yeah,
and Marcus
yeah.
is not giving him much.
No, he's like, I was 8 years old. I heard a crash from my parents' room. Like blah blah blah. I watched my dad beat the shit out of my mom, and I
Yeah,
found out he was the rogue son. So that's the kind of world I come from, and I'm just
yeah.
like, damn, Marcus, you fucking Clint Eastwood vibes going on here, bro.
That's such a good elevator pitch though for Rogue. So I'm like, oh god damn, I'm so interested. Like that's actually a really cool
No,
hook.
Yeah,
yeah, I'm really cool. That's why I'm so keen on something else that I think you're gonna bring up that happens on something in Rogue Sun we'll talk about later. But yeah, like this element I feel like will be explored later. But yeah, we see that they're driving. They get back closer to the location of the energy transmission, and they've spotted their predator because they find that there's just a car that's blown up somewhere in North Dakota. Literally, that's what it says, somewhere in North Dakota.
I love it when he
And
said somewhere in North Dakota, and then they use that as the Chiron. Oh, so good. But yeah,
but yeah, we see this is round two fight, and
fight.
it's the three mortal versions against the big demon. And we see that their plan goes to they have a good plan. It's slowly working, but what they didn't anticipate was how much stronger the big beast is.
Yeah, he's been hitting the gym. He's getting swole, and he is he's ready to go. Jace is like his career beyond YouTube has really gone. He's going places, literally somewhere in North Dakota, and shout outs to him. I wish I could get my ass kicked by the three of these guys and a giant robot later on. Like it's really cool, and the villain doesn't need to be super fleshed out in this because it's all about the characters. We just want a big threat, and we get that big threat in Jace, the giant green lizard, and I love how they have to fight it without their powers. We don't even need Robert Downey Jr. to come down here like, kid, I'm taking the suit away. They already lost their suits. They know the score. Like, hey, we can take this thing out. And it takes some cojones to go after a giant lizard. Like, Jesus.
And Cass is the one who delivers the blow that really, gives them their powers back and juices the big kaiju thing down back to, like deal, manageable levels. So it's really interesting to see them work together to have that that trust, but also they're all kind of putting their hands. Yeah, sorry, they're placed in the corner, like hands behind their backs. They don't really have a choice.
Speaking of hands behind your back, Marcus does a Naruto run too. He does the come on. He's got the hands behind the back Naruto run, which is pretty sweet.
But yeah, we it's been coming. We've been waiting for it the whole time. But once you finally get the page where they get their powers back, you've been waiting for it, and here it is, baby, the money shot. But they all put on their powers, and if you bought this book physically and you read it,
it's been coming.
yeah,
Here it is, the money shot. Okay,
like,
you said that.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, we talked about it. We the people who, and this was a question on the trivia as well, the people who make this comic, Kyle and all these people, they love Wizard magazine. They grew up comic fans. They read comics. They read Wizard magazine. It was part of the culture back then, before the internet, before everyone
Big Bang Theory.
your dosage of comic book culture and content. And as someone who grew up, like my father read Wizard magazine, and he told me all about it and its impact. And of course, I read his old versions growing
Before he
up.
gave you the Sunstone.
Yeah, exactly. I'm glad we know where this is going. Anyway, so Wizard magazine had a lot of these foldouts, and comics in the 90s had a lot of these gimmicks in general, but some of the gimmicks were actually good. Some of the gimmicks, people enjoy these. And I personally loved this gimmick. I loved it so much. Did you guys feel the same way? Like once you opened that page, did it just blow your mind?
I stared at that page for like literally a good 5 minutes. This might be my favorite.
Yeah, this is our new Twitter display photo.
Deserving. So
yeah, like for the what's the thing
The
behind
banner?
the display photo? The banner.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
it's our new
banner.
Twitter banner. It's just beautiful. Like this is the best page with all of them.
Yeah,
Like
that
class.
background, you got those little greens coming out of the back. Like
Oh.
that's where you need the black light and shine it on the back there. Oh man.
Mm-hmm.
So if
This
you
thing
haven't
is
gotten this physical, I think it's definitely worth it just for this.
Oh yeah, just literally just for this page alone. Like
yeah.
I'm considering getting another copy just so I could like maybe tear it out and put it on the wall, like frame it. Like that. My God, that's
If that's not a poster, I don't know why they make posters if not to put that to like print that out. Like that's fucking
Yeah.
sick.
Oh my God. And it just like this was the money shot. Like we know this was the page that we were all waiting for. This is the most beautiful splash page, two splash pages right here. The page where they, they got that Power Rangers iconic vibe scene going on where they're all equipping their powers. And someone brought this up on Twitter. I'm sorry, I don't remember who it was, but they said I found it hilarious how Rogue Sun and Cassia both have, their like little their little commands to equip their powers, and
Yeah.
Marshall's just there like, whoa, like, and he's just there. Like,
He's more of a
there.
cowl guy than Power Rangers, but these guys are obviously big on the Power Rangers. I love how in the page before the big spread page, Marcus kind of looks like He-Man to me. I don't know. I get He-Man vibes.
Yeah,
for some reason with
yeah.
It's the hair. The hair, I think.
Yeah,
He's
it's the
got the
hair.
curls on the side. Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, that spread page is like one of the best I've seen.
Dude, he reminds me
In
of the main character from Oblivion Song. I forgot his name.
Oh,
That's
Nathan?
it.
Nathan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Nathan. Yeah.
another Nathan.
He reminds me
Yeah.
of Ed more, to be honest, because he like has longer hair. But yeah.
Yeah, one more issue of Oblivion Song after this week's, and so I'm excited for that. But anyways, the colors are amazing in this little like sequence. Holy shit! Like I just wish more stuff would bleed and we'd have like more liquids for Marcelo to make look fucking amazing because he just
yeah.
kills it. It's just this
Man.
like hyper stuff. Like
Something I did want to say, and I don't read much Power Rangers or know much of that. How Inferno Girl, like she ignites her thing. I noticed that right away. I thought that was really cool the way she kind of like activates it with the two fingers. Like I don't know if that's
Yeah.
a thing that like if that's a thing that's been done before, but I thought that was pretty cool.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that's so cool. Yeah, she's
Can
a
you
little
imagine if-
badass.
I can't wait if these get shows down the line. We just have like one-off Supermassive crossover and just make it like anime or something. Oh my god, that'd be sweet.
Oh man.
No,
But
Yeah.
I love Rogue Sun's quote is one of my favorites here when they're talking about who's going to take the lead and then he just says like fine, punch it until it dies. It's so good. It's so simple.
Yeah, that's
so
superhero
It's easy
comics
enough,
for you,
yeah.
in a nutshell,
Yeah.
yeah. And he just like straight, yeah, we get the most gorgeous, panels of awesome colors, artwork again. Simone Ragazzoni, Igor Monti, Francesco Mana doing some amazing work. Becca Carey killing it with the lettering. Fantastic work. Check out their other works if you haven't. One of my favorite pages in terms of the action scenes is the one where Inferno Girl Red and Rogue Sun are, launched together as like a bullet.
Got a nice fast
Rail-
The railgun.
there.
Railgun.
Railgun
Yeah.
was sick as fuck. It's my favorite use of Radiant Black's power so far, other than maybe the robot. Like the robot is kind of different than like the gravity powers. So I'm putting those
No, the robot was my favorite thing. When the robot happened, I was literally like flipping shit like a kid. I was like,
Oh, we getting kaiju
I was
stuff.
like jumping up and down. Yeah, I was like, I felt like it was gonna come because I know Power Rangers, with the Megazord and everything, they do that a lot. But I was like, oh man, like if they could do it here. And then guess what? The next page, Radiant Black finally gets his juice back. He looks like he's about to explode. The big mech comes out of his chest again. We see some freaking kaiju battle of the Radiants and the demons and everything.
This was
It's
absolutely
insane.
crazy.
Oh my
Absolutely insane. Those colors in the back, that background, like those lines coming down towards the middle. That whole thing was absolutely insane.
Who needs Ultraman
You got
when you've got
everything. You got
robots?
Pacific Rim in this. You got invincible elements of everything. You got everything you could want out of a comic book in this.
Yeah, I love that point. I wasn't expecting to see like pretty much anything like progressing the Radiant Black or anything we didn't know, let alone seeing all this future stuff or this freaking robot jumping out of him and going to town. So
Dude,
that was just amazing.
When Nathan hears about this, it's just gonna be like the Arthur Fist meme of like, God damn it, he got to use giant robot.
That punch was awesome.
Yeah.
Oh my god! And then my personal favorite page, other than of course the amazing splash page. Actually, this might even be my favorite page because this just blew my mind. Like this just made me a 6-year-old kid watching Power Rangers at my TV set again. Is like he just tells them that I'm gonna quote him directly. Long enough, I need more of your justice. And then they're like. Cass is like, first of all, ew. Second of all, weren't our energies mixing how we got into this mess in the first place? And then, Marcus being the ass, he's like, she makes a pretty strong point. And then Marshall, of course, as dramatic as he ever is, he's like, listen, I know I screw these things up. I'm a mess. And typical Peter Parker fashion, but like also, himself, because he's just like this weird mix. And please just trust me here. And they're just like, you know what? Screw it. They put their hands on his shoulders. They start, combining energies. You see, oh my God, you see the mech grow wings and start to like drip fire. Like, what?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Going back to what Charlie was saying, the next page when the robot gets his wings, that'll be a dope page in Blacklight too.
They say every time a Radiant Bell rings, a robot gets its wings, but that was fucking sick. So do you think that like it's these specific powers that made the robot like this? So if we get like Pink's powers and Yellow's powers into this, the robot will be different?
I don't know, but if this
Because
issue gets reprinted, this should be the cover, like right there.
Yeah, and if you don't pick up Radiant Black
yes.
or Supermassive based on that cover, then you don't like comic books. No, I'm just kidding. But like, it's like it's friggin' sweet. Like, god damn, like the colors, like this. I feel like this issue is like all the artists and Basudal and letterers and colorists. Like, I feel like they got powered up by some magic juices because like they killed it. Like this crossover is badass. Like the big two are gonna have to do something really amazing this year to make a better crossover than this.
Oh yeah, and I mean they have some pretty good books going too, like with the Devil's Reign and everything. They've had some pretty good shit going, and I still think Supermassive is really underrated. Like I think more people will be talking about it soon as more people start reading it and everything. Some people were talking about how like the $5.99 price might deter some people, and I kind of agree. But I think once they see the quality of the book, like they look at
50
the
pages.
binding, yeah,
I think
50
it's
pages.
definitely worth to point out
Oh,
too.
yeah.
They used every single page to its fullest. There's no ads. There's no.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Like,
And
there's nothing
it's
wasted.
beautiful. Like the binding
It's-
is beautiful, the cover is beautiful. It's a well-made book. Like it's not like they don't use that cheap
not
cover
cheap.
stock.
yeah. There's just
the
one
Marvel
tease for
uses.
another series that's 2 pages and also looks badass. I'll mention it later on.
Yeah. Anyways, we see that Marshall saves the day. He blasts the kaiju with some energy, like Iron Man style. They seem to go back to their normal human forms because Marshall is very sleepy, and he asks if someone could give him a lift, and
No.
and Cassius just like has that sigh. But I love that panel of her just carrying him back.
Fighting gender roles. There we go. He's the
Exactly.
damsel in distress right now. So
Exactly.
he's all tuckered out.
Yeah, and they're back to a barn of all places, talking about going back. They're happy to have met each other, all the typical superhero stuff, So my favorite, cliche ending from In Front of Go-In, she's just like, is extremely cool. So next time, party at my place, and off she goes to her universe.
Is it cliche though? I like that a lot. I like it a
Oh,
lot.
no,
Going
it's
to my
great.
universe. Party at my place. My
Hey,
place
maybe
being a
it's
different.
foreshadowing too. Maybe
Yeah.
we'll see Marshall in her universe soon.
Oh yeah. Oh
Well,
yeah.
we hear him talk to Marcus later on about I might need your help. Like, spoiler, we know that Marcus, is not long for this timeline. So, I mean, maybe we'll have Dylan team up with him. But also, I assume Infernal Girl Red might make a pop in, right? This might be like the Invincible War, where we have to bring in all the guns for this big space battle that's been foreshadowed.
Just leaving the door open for the opportunity itself is smart because then they have leverage. So I think either way, like good move from the team. The team seems to always know what they're doing, right? These guys they're kicking ass, and they just keep it up. And it ends with a really nice, wholesome moment where we see that Marshall's asking Marcus for advice, and he doesn't particularly like the advice Marcus gives him because he's got to basically you gotta figure shit out on your own. And if you try to face what's coming, you can't be called a coward, blah blah blah. And Marshall's reaction's like, I really should ask Cassia because he just seems to have gelled with her more.
And I
But,
feel like people are still gonna be calling Marcus a coward. Like, I'm pretty sure Dylan would still call him a coward.
Oh yeah. And we see that Marshall, because he's all sapped from the encounter, he just passes out in the barn. And as Marcus is walking away, and this is like the moment where you get, maybe this guy isn't a complete bastard, but
He has a heart.
he sighs and he turns around, sees that Marshall's just all like out on no blanket, so he gets Marshall a blanket and covers him, and that's the ending to Supermassive. Wow.
I want to see what Marcus's father is. No, his grandfather is like. Because if his dad is that dicky with the powers, was his dad a rogue son before him, and maybe he was like doing heroin or worse drugs, and maybe it's like Jinpachi style from Tekken. But
It just gets worse and worse down the line. Yeah.
yeah, once you go further up the family tree, it's just more rotten fruit up there. But who knows? Either way, that's a shady spot to end the crossover with my perspective. But yeah, this was super massive. This is badass. I mean, if you thought it was the stakes like, oh, they lost their powers, whatever. Like, we got giant robot fights with fire and wings coming out. Like, what more can you ask for in life, let alone crossovers?
I mean, it's been a year, and I think we've seen 4 titles right now that are associated with this massive verse, and we have the first teaser for the fourth one on the bottom, but we see here that we have Radiant Black created by Kyle Higgins and Marcelo Costa. We have Rogue Sun created by Ryan Parrott and Abel. We have Infernal Girl Red created by Erica Derso and Matt Groom. We have The Dead Lucky created by Melissa Flores, French Carlamagno, and character design by Federico Sabatini.
Whoop, whoop. Yeah,
Man, come
I
on,
love
doesn't
this.
get better than that. Sabatini, he's a legend. If you all know, he's the guy who did our Radiant Black podcast banner at first, not the one with Invincible, the first one we
The
had.
sweet ass like 12. What is it? Was it cover
Yeah,
3?
I think it's the 13 or 14
13.
125. Yeah, it's the
Okay,
14 or 15 125. It's one of those. The 120. Yeah,
I was
and
off on both.
it's
Yeah.
gorgeous. But we saw this Dead Lucky, and you know what I noticed is that Dead Lucky was actually like, this is her first appearance, I believe. I think it's a her. I'm assuming it's a her. I might be
They
mistaken.
haven't keep it dead lucky on the DL though, on the down.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, they have been, but if you
I know, just
notice,
going for a punt.
we kind of we actually saw Dead Lucky already, but nobody knew who it was. On the gorgeous variant, the Diego Sanchez variant for issue number 15, the Pixel variant, Dead Lucky is on the bottom left of the
Oh.
roster.
Wasn't
Yeah.
she in Radiant Black 7 too when they went to Tokyo? I'm pretty sure she was one of the billboard characters.
The billboards, the one
Yes,
on the top.
yes,
Yeah,
she
Rogue Sun
Yeah,
was
yeah,
there.
good
She was
call.
there too.
Yeah, so every single property that we just discussed, the Dead Lucky, Rogue Sun, and Inferno Girl Red, they've all been teased in that issue of Radiant Black. They've all
Damn.
teased on those billboards. Yeah, and then you look at the issue 16 or 15 cover B by Diego Sanchez, this gorgeous pixel cover, which is a must buy if you're a Radiant Black fan. I mean, this cover is amazing. You've got Radiant Black fighting Blaze on the cover, and yes, I finally caught up on Cal and read almost all of it. I've read 8 issues. I have 4 left. I really like it. It's honestly reminds me thematically in some ways of Watchmen and The Dark Knight Returns, but like more of a, in his own spin kind of thing with Kyle and everything and Rod Rice, and I really like it. I really like, my favorite character from the whole series so far is Radia, and on the bottom right under I forgot what his name is. Is it Mecca or whatever his name is? That guy. Under him on the bottom right, that girl who I'm assuming we don't know who it is yet, she looks like Radia. So, and Blaze is on the top right.
Plus, Radia is like 3 letters away from Radiant, so
Yeah.
it's kind of cool that you just
Right.
bought a vowel and 2 consonants, and then you got yourself But yeah,
And we
that's
got
sweet.
Ferragato coming back, so that's always a plus. We love Ferragato here. Eduardo
Yeah, our
Ferragato.
workload quadrupled in the last month or two. Like, we got 4 superheroes that I talk about in this universe, and I love it. It's like this nice little subsect of Image. It's a cool way to break in the 30th anniversary of Image, where now 2021 had the amazing breakout Radiant Black, and now we've got Rogue Sun, we've got Inferno Girl Red, and the crossover ends with tease of another. Like, it's really cool.
Does anyone else get like a luchador vibe from her mask?
Yes, yeah, it reminds me honestly of like if you've played
Yeah,
one of the newer,
okay.
like I don't play a
Yeah.
lot of Call of Duty, but some of the skins in the new Call of Duty games look like that.
Yeah, I'm definitely
Ooh.
interested to find
Not the
out.
Rambo one, though. Because they have Rambo in
There's a
Warzone.
Rambo one? That is awesome.
They have Rambo and I think John McClane. But
That's
yeah, it does look very luchador-esque. The eyes, especially, it very much has the lucha aesthetic, which is a good call out for sure. That's really sweet. And she's been underground, much like many lucha wrestlers. No more wrestling references. I'll spare you. But yeah, no, she looks awesome.
Rey Mysterio.
Yeah. So I think that we don't really know much about Dead Lucky, but we do know Melissa Flores, French Calamagno, and Mattia Iacono are gonna be, or is it Iacono? I'm not sure. Are gonna be working on this, and it's coming in 2022. So stay tuned for that. We see in the back, the first time all these read the universe, the Masterverse continues to expand. We see Radiant Black Volume 1, Volume 2, ongoing series, issue 13, Radiant Red, Rogue Sun, and Inferno Girl Red. Speaking of Radiant Red, that's next week. So Don't forget to check that out Wednesday at your local comic shop. Cherish Chen's going to be writing, David LaFuente on art, Mikel Muerto on colors, and I think Sanchez will be doing letters or something. I'm not 100% sure. Anyway, that Supermassive was fantastic. Everyone, how did you like it?
10 out of 10 for me. One of the best things I've read in the past, I don't know, few years. It was fun from first page to last page. Def recommend it.
I'm gonna give it a 9.7. I don't know what they could have done that I would have liked more. Maybe put in like Possum Watcher to put it up a couple more points, but like Possum Watcher or whichever, either or. But yeah, this was fantastic. I don't know what more you could want from a crossover of 3 characters that are meeting for the first time. So yeah, good shit. Everyone killed it. And if we get two massive next year, I'm here for it with the Deadly Lucky or whatever. Like let's go. Like let's do this again. If we're not killing these artists, like if Costa's hand's good to go and Igor is pumping up the great colors and everyone else returns, let's get her going.
Yeah, no, for sure. I definitely give it 10 out of 10. Like I expect it to be good, but I didn't expect to get all these like previews at the future, and I really didn't expect to see this giant robot just be going to town, and just it was a ton of fun overall. And yeah, next issue was a ton of fun as well.
Yeah, 100%. Fantastic. I highly recommend it. Justified the $6 price tag. If you haven't checked it out, the first appearance of 2 amazing new characters in this exciting massive verse, and it's just an amazing read
and
all
a few
around.
Cameos.
Oh yeah. So check it out. Now we're gonna move on to Rogue Sun #1. So
Yeah.
I'll try to timestamp this if I do when I edit this episode. I might not, so apologize, but I'll try to timestamp this for those of you who want to avoid spoilers. So
Even
we're
though
gonna
I kind of might have danced around spoilers.
No. So we've been good so far. So right now we're gonna talk about full spoilers about Rogue Sun. We're gonna dive into the issue and review it. It's short and it's pretty quick, pretty fast paced. So I feel like we'll be able to cover a lot pretty short time. So Rogue Sun, we go into this having a little bit of knowledge of what Rogue Sun's like, at least Marcus from Supermassive. Let's look at the creative team. We got Brian Parrott as writer and co-creator. We got Abel as the artist and co-creator. Got Chris O'Halloran as the colorist. Becca Carey as letterer. Variants by the amazing Declan Shalvey, Goni Montes, Abel, Daniele Dinuculo, and Walter Bayamonte, Brett Booth, and Igor Monti. So Michael Basula, of course, editor and designer. So yeah,
and right at the gate, Dr. Doom fighting Rogue Sun right here, which is really cool.
Yeah, and man, like I just love immediately I noticed how sleek and clean and beautiful Abel's artwork and Chris O'Halloran's colors are. They have a perfect symbiosis, the two of them. I really feel the dark and gritty and the supernatural elements of this.
It fits the vibe of Rogue Sun that we've gotten so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, we in Nolans now, baby. We're in New Orleans and we're kicking some ass.
Right in time for Mardi Gras.
Yeah, exactly. And they're used to it at this point. They're like, no, it's weird to see this far north of Bourbon Street and stuff like that. Like, no, stuff like this always happens. As long as we stay clear, we'll be fine. That sounds like someone drunk who gets hurt all the time would say that. Like, you can easily, like, if things go sour, like, if things go south, you're in trouble. It doesn't matter how far away from Bourbon Street you are, you're fucked if things get bad. So whatever. I like that though.
That's true. Seems to be some tourists or something here. Should we be running for cover or something? Like they had no idea what's going on. Might be a good idea. Not too sure.
Yeah. Clearly, they've never written Invincible. Anyway,
these guys actually do look up at least. Yeah.
Yeah. So we find out a little bit more about Marcus. They do show the background here that he's been a veteran because people are used to seeing him, and he gets into this dark place. All these mannequins. We can see the energy residue left over from the guy he's chasing, and he seems to be in a lot of pain. Someone's talking to him, or not yet, sorry. He seems to be talking to someone, and then he seems to be hit with some sort of energy, and he's in a lot of pain. It seems like he's not used to encountering people who are aware of his identity, and it just seems like this isn't a situation he's normally put in where he's getting his ass whooped.
Yeah, and should we talk about the ending? Because we know he doesn't die here, or it looks like he doesn't die, or because he doesn't look like a ghost at the end, right?
We don't know yet.
I interpret it as more like his spirit is alive through the Sunstone.
Yeah, I think that's how I took it, and I also took it as kind of like maybe Marcus, like the same thing happened, like when his shithead dad died, kind of like he got the stone and then he was able to kind of recuperate with his dad, kind of thing, and then it goes down
True.
and down.
I don't know how Ryan Parrott plays, but I've seen Higgins do something very similar in issue 4, where our character's ass was beat at the bottom of a building or whatever. It
Yeah,
looked like he wasn't coming back.
yeah,
So I don't
you're right about
see.
that.
Right, so the fire burns out. The stone leaves him. Is it like a radiant bonding? We don't know the extent of his powers. We don't know how durable he is. We don't know what these guys used on him. So there's easily a way for him to come back to land the living. But I'm cool if it's a Jarrell thing where he's just kind of like an AI in a suit or whatever. Either way, it's cool that we get to see Marcus interact with his son in some context in the future.
Yeah, awesome.
And
Yeah,
we
maybe
get to see a little. Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say I kind of like maybe he could be connected to it, kind of like a symbiote kind of thing. That I just got some, like you were saying. I think this was off before the podcast. Kind of got some Dylan Brock vibes.
Oh, we got some Venom vibes up in this for sure. I think that Marcus does kind of remind me of Eddie Brock, but also the son. Dylan is also the name of Eddie's son. There is a lot of that. It's its own thing for sure, but I definitely got a lot of like Venom influences, and I'm all here for it, by the way. If we get some like Venom kind of dynamics, yeah, the father-son dynamics where the son like has reasons to hate the father, but maybe the father's not that big a bastard, right? Like I feel like there's reasons that Marcus is this way. Like maybe the family almost died at one point, right? And we didn't actually see what happened. I feel like there's going to be some redemption for this character because something must have made him into this like bitter bastard beyond his father.
Yeah. Yeah, I almost see it as kind of like stepping in the shoes of someone, and then kind of like every generation has kept stepping in the shoes of each other and kind of just going down this rabbit hole of shitheads.
Yeah.
Oh, and this is called Walgreens.
Prior to the release of this issue, we were talking about how, we thought, at least I thought that, the theme of legacy was going to be an important one in this series because it seems like it's not only the legacy of Marcus Bell in terms of him passing on the mantle of Rogue's son, but also the legacy of what Marcus Bell means to Dylan. Like as a father, what does his life mean as a father to him? Now that he's found out that he has this whole secret life and he's been this person, does that change the way he views his father or some of the things he's done? So it'll be interesting to see how their relationship changes over the course of Dylan learning how to become Rogue's son.
One thing I'm noticing now, if you look at the mask of the faceless person that quote unquote kills Marcus, you can kind of see there's like a line going down his face in one panel, another one there's like a line going across to make that like little like Boba Fett T-shape that Rogue Sun kind of has too. So maybe it's some connection to the Rogue element. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. I almost saw that as kind of also like like the 001 or whatever, like his kind of X mark. I'm not sure if that is diagonal straight across, but yeah, definitely something going on under there.
I love how symbolic, like one of the things we talk about is giving all these characters the little quirks that help identify them. Like you associate, gadgets and state-of-the-art military stuff with, or not military, but like art, gadgets and technology with Batman. You associate like like webs and interesting devices with Spider-Man, and with Radiant Black we've seen that you associate a whole like a wealth of black hole related things. With the Rogue Sun, I really like the element of the sun going out when he dies. Like you know what I mean? Like you have like the 2 pages, like the 2 panels where he's burning out, and then it's literally it's out like the tribe has spoken.
Yeah, no, are we getting a Survivor reference up in this? Holy shit. No, fucking, okay, sorry, that threw me, but yeah, he got his snuff torch, and there is no Redemption Island for see, the nerdier things, the guilty pleasure stuff, I'm just gonna dive deeper, like wrestling or Survivor references, but yeah, you're right, and we go from a character getting taken to school to literally being in school as we see young Dylan, and our main character is a bully. Who would have seen that coming?
And I really like actually having a bully as a character for a change because I'm tired of like all the Peter Parker-esque or nice guys. I feel like Marshall is like a healthy in between. Like he's not
like
so
right
much a
on
bully.
That line. He's right on the line of being likable and an asshole at the same time.
Yeah, I think he's just a little bit entitled when it comes to certain things. But
No Flash
I,
Thompson, but we'll get Solar Flare Thompson over here.
Dylan just seems like an
Solar Flare
asshole.
Thompson.
Yeah, Dylan
That's
seems
good.
like an asshole for all kinds of different reasons. Like he doesn't seem like he had a father figure to set him straight. You know what I
And
mean?
his mom only has moldy food in the fridge, which has got to scar you mentally.
He's wearing a leather jacket, so he must be a badass.
Exactly, the edgy hair, the edgy hair and everything. Like, and even the thing that he says, like as we're watching him, as we're introduced to him at school here, after we see Marcus die, we see that the first thing he does is he's trapping this dude in a locker who's also writing his papers, and he just tells him, "Look, man, I'll get you a date to the prom if you just continue writing my papers." And I'll let you like, who would I be if I let my best friend out of the locker? And he's like, "You're kidding, right?" But no, then he just walks with him and he runs into a girl that he used to be going
Wait,
out.
before that, I just want to say this one part. He says, "Dylan, I don't even want to go to prom," and then he says, "Everyone says that," and then the night of the dance shows up. I really like Ryan Parrott's writing. Just got to say that. Anyways, keep going.
No, right, yeah, Ryan Parrott, that's a given. I just want to say Ryan Parrott's writing, Abel's artwork, Crystal Allen's colors, Becca's letters, everything's fantastic. There is one thing I personally didn't like, and we'll talk about that later, but you guys already know. But
That's
yeah,
right, Ryan. Turn off now. We're sorry. I'll try to constrain. I'll try to keep.
no, but no, I think it's still a fantastic comic, and you should definitely pick this up. It's the start of something really cool. But yeah, I love his attitude here. He's just like he thinks he's the shit. Where he's telling Vanessa, was it? Where he's just like, "Look, I'm sorry I didn't text you, but whatever. Things have settled now." And she just walks past him like he's not
What
even
is
there.
what is the whole porta potty thing? It's never anything good. It can't be anything good. Hopefully, it's
Oh
not like
no,
the Jackass 3
I
finale or something.
just can't wait to hear about it though.
Yeah,
I hope
you
we
can't
do.
tease that without
I
showing.
hope we do.
Yeah,
I
you
don't
have
want
to.
another. What was her name? The aunt
Just
from
like
Radiant Black?
Roxy,
Yeah.
Radiant Black, Roxy. Remember when they
Oh
teased
yeah.
all this Roxy thing and nobody knows what a Roxy is now? They just know it's the password. God damn it.
Jeez.
Yeah.
So yeah, we go to the Dylan's house, and we learn that everything in the house is green, and we have Mr. Abernathy here to reveal some shocking info. And Bash, this is what you had a problem with, isn't it? Was his reaction to
No,
this?
no, not this part yet. Actually, I really liked all this. He's still being a little bit of an ass. He's just showing us how much what the family situation's like at home. Abernathy informs them that Marcus passed away and that there's a secret, was it possession thing that they have to do
Yeah, they're reading the
at
will.
a hearing will, yeah, that they have to do at Dylan's at Marcus's house, so they got to go there. And obviously his mom's uncomfortable, and he like obviously actually at first Dylan doesn't even want to go. He's just like, I didn't like that guy, whatever, so why should I even go? But his mom was like, look, the version of him that you've known was a shithead, but the version of him that I've known was actually good, and I want to go honor that. So we'll go, together one last time. Then we never have to think about him again. And I'm like, okay, that's good writing. Like I like that.
The
And
reaction of like, okay,
yeah,
so like my dad said, okay, so like what a dude, what a
yeah,
flippant douche he is.
yeah,
But
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
I knew he hated him, but then when
Yeah.
he was asking him like how he died and
But
stuff, like that was
but that's clearly
oh
set
yeah,
up, right? That's clearly set up for
oh for
things we're
sure.
gonna explore later. We're gonna see why that's there, and hopefully, and William Morton. I can't say the next
I
part.
just find it funny he said burned alive.
Burned
What's
alive,
he
yeah.
gonna
I just glued
Yeah.
into that.
good point.
Yeah.
One thing
Yeah,
that bracelet on his wrist right there, it looks like a friendship bracelet. I bet I got that from Vanessa. I bet money because it doesn't look like he has friends. I don't think the dude he's throwing in a locker made him that. So yeah,
I'd bet, yeah, I'd back that.
that's just one
Mm.
prediction, and it's crucial. If we learn where that bracelet came from, this whole story comes together. No, but
Yeah,
we're
that's
off.
that's the Kathy of Rogue Sun, actually.
Oh,
Yeah.
don't even get me started.
Kathy.
We see that the car, I don't know if you guys caught the car that they took up. It was like a driver car, like the one that Nathan's driving in issue 1 of Radiant Black. Like
Yeah.
their Uber. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that. That's a nice little
Oh yeah, driver.
yeah, to make this
Oh,
one a
yeah.
nice little tight universe.
Yeah.
Yeah, a
Good
lot of
pickup. Yeah. Good shit.
oh,
Yeah.
So yeah, I like this. We get the big mansion, and we get to meet the other family. How can this not be awkward?
But we gotta
No,
mention
I
the painted portrait, too.
I really like the look of the mansion, because as I brought up before we started recording, I was like, this is a real Knives Out like vibe. If you've seen that movie, like this reminds me a lot of that. But
Yeah.
you get to the mansion and you could already tell it's tense because you could see Brock, the son of
Little Damien
yeah,
pissed off.
yeah, basically little Damien. Yeah, exactly. Pissed off. And he's just already staring out the window like, I am the proper Batman, you know? Fuck you,
Yeah.
Tim. Like that's the dynamic I get from this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I am the one who was raised to be like, you know, like, and this dude's just like, yeah. Anyway, he here's Dylan and his mom. They're going, and you could tell it's already awkward as hell, and you immediately like feel the difference in it's almost like Get Out, but like you know, like Rogue Sun version. Everyone's
The,
like rich as hell. There's like paintings and shit. It's
the
weird.
portrait of him, that doesn't look like something that the guy that we saw in Supermassive would have gotten of himself. It looks so
No,
weird.
I
That
agree.
is.
He didn't look like the kind of guy who would have a vanity portrait, but
yeah.
we don't know
But
much
I
about
think I think they said that he married a wealthy woman like the
Yes.
second time. So
Yes.
this is her family because she says also that her family lived in that house for 2 generations. So for all we know, he doesn't like that setup. He's just there. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
It's just the
Yeah.
smugness, like the look of him. He doesn't seem like that guy.
No,
Like
it looks
Supermassive.
uncomfortable.
Also,
Supermassive
do
takes place
people
how
know
long?
his identity?
What?
The kids know, right? The
Yeah,
kids know
yeah.
that he knows about the Sunstone.
No, I mean like the public and stuff. Like it could be like a Bruce Wayne
Oh.
situation, kind of like just like
Yeah.
a fancy portrait, just to kind of play
Yeah.
the part.
That's a good point.
That's true. Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
good point. That's a
But
very
yeah,
good
he's a
point.
philanthropist.
Yeah.
How long after Supermassive does it take place? I forget. I know we asked.
I'm honestly not sure.
Uh.
But it should probably be like the very next day or the same day.
I
or
wouldn't
something.
say it was too long. I wouldn't say
Yeah.
more than like a week or
I
two
don't-
tops.
I
Yeah,
don't think there's
Yeah.
anything that.
because
Yeah.
they don't really
Said
mention
it.
anything that happened in Supermassive here.
Yeah, fair
But it's
enough. I
definitely
was just
after,
wondering.
yeah. No, it's a good
Yeah.
question.
At
But
least-
yeah,
well, for the portrait, I don't even know if he's shaved. No, he's shaving later on when we see him. So yeah, he's chilling. He looks like, it's like Green Goblin, Willem Dafoe vibes a little bit in this
Yeah.
photo. Like, and I dig it. So yeah, we get the family dynamics. We get to meet Gwen.
Ori and Brock. No, Gwen and Dylan are the mom.
kids.
And
No, Gwen and Dylan. I'm Juliet Bell. This is my. Oh, never mind. You're right.
Yeah.
Gwen's the mom. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Gwen's Dylan's mom, and these are Juliet, Ori, and Brock. So
Ori, and
Ori-
I don't know if she has the will of the
apparently
wisp or
Ori-
not, but it's cool.
no, Ori apparently knows him because she's like, oh yeah, aren't
No,
you
that's
that kid
cool.
that dated Vanessa? And he's just like, fuck's sake.
Yeah,
But,
it's true. That's a good
but
point.
I swear immediately, like even the thing he says to Brock says to Dylan, he's like, "Oh, you don't look like our father." That's Damien. That's Damien right there.
Oh yeah, and I'm here for it. All day long. Give me some
Oh,
Damien.
yeah. Man, I don't know why people don't like Damien. He's great. But so we see that they're onto the will. Marcus Randolph Bell, blah blah blah. Want to pass these things on. to you.
Using the full name, that sounds very much like iconoclast, rich ass motherfucker using like Marcus Randolph Bell.
Yeah, I
you
mean,
know?
look at that dining room. Look at the dining table. Look how big it is, dude, bro. That's like the Knights Round Table or whatever. That's like they're rich as hell, bro.
Well, it fits because he's the knight. You
Yeah.
know.
So like you could see that she like the mom doesn't even stutter. Like she doesn't even seem to like Juliet doesn't even really seem to care about like how this is gonna go down. Really, it's the kids who are ultimately. It's Ori and Brock who seem to be ultimately invested in the Sunstone.
Maybe she
But,
doesn't know. Maybe she knows he's not really dead. If he's not
Yeah.
really dead, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he came back.
She's not that surprised when in the
No.
next page when he actually announces that it goes to Dylan. The
Yeah.
mom, like both of the kids are like, "What the fuck is happening?" But the mom is. It looks like she almost
Yeah.
already knew what was gonna happen.
Yeah.
She doesn't look phased at all.
No.
And
Maybe
what
they
kind of-
talked. Maybe they talked about it prior.
Yeah, she might have already known.
It's cool that we've
Yeah.
got this lawyer who's totally down to like give away superpowers too. Like, is he like a
Yeah.
specific superhero
Yeah,
lawyer?
yeah.
Like, I don't know.
I'm telling you that was the part that shook, and then we'll talk about that in a second. But anyway, so he leaves, here too. He gives Juliet, his wife, control of all his corporate holdings and his personal estate and trust. So he says, and this must hurt when you say that in front of your first wife, but my life would have been incomplete without you. Damn, Ryan, shots fired. Shots fired. Damn, like that's cold. But as he says, who will receive his most prized possession, and he says it wasn't an easy decision. It's a life of service and obligation, but it's gonna go to, and you could see Brock's eyes glinting. The little Damien fuck is just like, and or he's just like, an opportunity presents itself.
I love that panel where it shows him and he's just like, I'm giving it to my son.
It's
And
my precious,
It's like he broke that
precious,
too
yeah.
piss off
Yeah.
Brock. It's so good.
Yeah, and Dylan's just like, what the hell is going on? Like all this for some like little thing, And the reaction is telling though. When they freak out, when Ori and Brock freak out, Dylan's honestly finally interested. He's just like, I don't get it. Is this expensive? Is this thing? But then he touches it. This
And then
is
it
the
evolves
part.
his gloom into a blossom. No, I'm kidding.
This is the part that I personally didn't like. Like I thought, and
The auction.
I still think no, just this particular panel here, and I'll explain in a sec. But I still think this whole issue is fantastic. So no shade. I think this is just personally something that didn't resonate with me.
How dare you?
Says Dylan, there's no easy way to say this. Your father didn't die in an automobile accident. He led a secret life as a mass vigilante, and it was his dying wish that you take up his mantle, and you are the next rogue son. And he's just like, fuck me. I'm just like, there was just no time to process that. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's
That's
just,
what death is like, Bashar. Sometimes you don't have time to process death, and you just become a superhero that night. You don't have time sometimes. No, I can see that.
he just doesn't even process like the mantle or anything. He's just like, oh, like time to go superhero, and you know, like I'm gonna be better than dad. Like what? You know what I mean?
But he's
Yeah.
not mourning his dad. He didn't lose anything. He hasn't had his father for years. So he's really not mourning shit. And now he's got the superpower thing on top of it. So this is actually something that will give him a reaction.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
and
just
it's
want I
e-
just want to know why he wants to be better than his dad at this. Like it doesn't make sense.
It would
Well,
leave a
I'll
chip on his
say-
shoulder.
At first, the motivation seemed more like money, like, oh, is this box expensive? What's in there? And then he gets it. He's like, oh, we can make lots of money with this kind of thing. So looks like he does kind of want to help out, but at this, I do get what you're saying.
Yeah,
though.
because he's saying like, what does he tell his mom? So yeah, we get to
I
that
think he
part.
says
Yeah,
it the next page.
yeah. So let's just get real quick. We get to the next part. We see Suave introduced for the first time. Awesome villain, awesome design, really cool
Yeah,
design.
and there's no G.I. Joe to stop Cobra this time. He's coming in, and he is fucking pissed.
Yeah, I really
Suave
like
is a
this
sick name.
design.
Yeah,
I like this whole scenario. It was cool. Like it was a cool way to introduce
he
the.
could be Ghostmaker's brother. Toastmaker. He goes to all these fancy events now. But no, I think he's cool. I like the way he talks, and I really love his interaction with Rogue Sun later on. I thought that was cool, where he knew that he was the new guy. He's like, okay, I'll stop this right now. Well, you know, what if you tell me what my name is? Like, anyways. No, the auction was nice. It was just a cool introduction, and then we get the scene between Dylan and his mom here.
With great power comes great. Oh wait, no, wrong comic.
I mean,
So,
basically.
no, it's you know, she just tells him how, you know, how she met Marcus and, you know, that he saved her, which is kind of weird that she just like kind of went out with the guy who just saved her. Like, I mean, I guess, but like you didn't know shit about him, but I guess the shiny knight armor was enough.
Bro,
Yeah.
if a girl saved me from a drunk driver, I'd be going out with her probably. Probably. You'd have to, I mean, really impress me. I mean, it's just my life we're saving. Like, I don't know. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, no, I mean, it is, but it isn't. Like, it's a way to make an entrance. I'll tell you that.
I'm just saying, like, I'm not saying I'm judging her for accepting. I'm saying I'm judging Marcus for just asking some chick out who just saved her life. Like, you're putting her on the
True.
spot, man. You're putting her on the
True.
spot.
But when I read that, it said 8 months later. I thought it was going to be 8 months later you were born. That's right. That night we conceived you and you were born. Sure. Like, that's what I know.
That was quick. Just cutting right to the chase. Yeah.
Jesus Christ, that's a rogue baby right there. If I ever seen one myself. But no, so she's just. I like how you know, aesthetically we were talking about how it looks like a fiery knight, but then she's like a knight to open the side. Like I like how like even she thought of it as a knight. Like that's cool.
A knight in flaming armor coming to save your ass, and like, yeah, it was cool. And like, I get that. Like, she still goes like he was a different guy before, and the way they explain him leaving of like the responsibility of being a superhero and a father, and this is a new. Well, I don't know how long it took for Dylan to come along, but that is a lot. Like, I don't have that much time now, and I'm not doing any superhero stuff, so you can see how that would be a lot. You know, like my responsibility is like a cat, and even that's
And it seems like that's where their family split apart. Like she's saying, okay, her and Marcus were happy for a bit, you know, but it seemed like the responsibility of being a superhero and a father seemed like too much for him. And she said that's what she told herself when, you know, that he left to protect them. But, you know, she's like that theory fell apart when they kind of got remarried. So you can see that she doesn't really, I don't know if like fully yet, I'm assuming here, but it doesn't seem like she really hates Marcus. It seems like she, you know, she harbors feelings for him. She still like kind of loves him, but she also like kind of resents him for leaving. You know what I mean? But there's obviously a part of her that longs to see him.
I that line hurts at the end when she says like, but then I guess that theory fell through when he got remarried, right? Of like why he left because he was like, that sucks. I feel bad for the mother's name, I forget right now. But you know, there's also the elements of like Marcus might not even know what a healthy relationship is if he sees his father beating up his mom with the costume on, right? So this guy does not know what a healthy relationship is as far as we know.
And we don't know what kind of father he was to his next family with Julia.
Yeah. Yeah, Brock's a prick, so you know it's trouble already.
That's true. Definitely seems like they have a better relationship for sure. But I think the one thing I found a little strange was I thought I was expecting a little bigger reaction, kind of from the mom not wanting Dylan to activate this sunstone,
knowing what it would be, yeah,
knowing what it has done to her life and what it could do to her son. And she has that line later on, but I just thought it should have maybe been a little more.
I think I think that maybe she thinks it's inevitable. Like
she might have known too,
like maybe she knew, she accepted it. Okay, yeah, I can go with that. I can go.
Also, she's probably ready to shut him off the military school since he's such a prick already. That's like fuck his thing.
But after he says, "Don't worry, I can do this. I promise, I can be better than him." I want to explore those motivations more in future issues because I feel like I want to know why he wants to be better than his father. But I feel like that's all for later.
And the hand lighting up is cool. Like that's how you know you get the palm of fire.
The next page is another gorgeous page, one of the best pages of this issue, if not the best page, of him activating the Rogue Sun power for the first time, and we get a glimpse of, I'm assuming,
that's the same
future.
page. That's like the top of this page of the page.
But
just with the hand with the fire to let him know that the Rogue Sun is calling, and then
this is when he activates his powers.
Yeah,
we're talking about the splash page.
Splash page, yeah.
Yeah, and the page before is where his hand lights up when he.
But we're saying, look at that page where this power is. That shows us a lot of things that's happening in the future, including what I'm assuming might be a few good guys or bad guys.
We get Radiant Black. We get
Radiant
Catwoman.
Black. And we have already gotten Radiant Black, and you get like that sword. Isn't that Suave's sword, or is it a key sword? Or
it might be a little different. I thought it was his, but the Whisperers are back. That's right. Kirkman has said it's time. We're bringing in the Whisperers. No, they have like armor on, like zombies with armor or something. That looks freaking sweet. So we probably got the undead. We've got like wolves that could be on fire. That could be sun wolves, which would be.
Is that a sun making out with someone like under Radiant Black, or like what's happening under the sword? Do you not see?
I don't know if he's making out with someone. It looks like he's holding somebody who's dead or unconscious.
Yeah, it looks like someone who's dead. I think.
I wonder if the number 217 will have any significance in the future too.
Yeah, that's true.
For sure.
Yeah. I think he's bobbing for apples. It's a Halloween party. Now, 217, I don't know what that's going to be, but numerologists.
All right, Discord detectives, you're on it.
Yeah.
They'll figure it out.
There's a burning rose on the left, too, a burning flower. And then there's another rogue knight, like, on the bottom. So I don't know why they show him. Maybe his father's returning in some context, because why would there be two rogue sons, right? Why would they show him in the future if it's him? Weird.
That's what I'm saying.
Honestly, this might be the past. This might all be stuff that already happened.
You show him in multiple parts. Yeah.
Yeah. Like he did meet Radiant Black. Maybe everything else here is different things in the past that Marcus went through as Roxanne.
He didn't. Yeah, he didn't meet Radiant. Yeah, exactly. You're right. This might be like a memory, like it's uploading the memory save.
Basically.
The last, yeah.
Oh shit! So and that's just like a straight up Keyblade too. So we might get Mickey, Donald, and Goofy popping in here. Sakurai's not the only one. That's getting the rights to this stuff, so that's pretty sweet. So big get for Image. We got Disney hopping on, but no, I'm just kidding. But that's a cool panel with a lot of foreshadow when we've already had a lot of foreshadowing in Supermassive. So already, we've fleshed out these characters. This isn't just like I've got 6 issues planned, because I don't think you can fit in zombies and Catwoman.
Dude, I'm honestly like really intrigued in this character. Like I honestly really enjoyed this issue. Like I
freaking love this shit. I love it.
Yeah. This dude's like interesting. He's a little ass, but he's interesting.
I compare this to other stuff, but I mean, if it's reminding me of stuff I love, like we mentioned Invincible a ton of times.
He's a chip off the old fiery pops, man. Like, what are you saying?
Yeah, the rogues for sure. I can see a little bit of Moon Knight in here, like with the kind of like it's his mission. He's got to take these people from different dimensions, kind of like.
I was gonna say
more supernatural people, but yeah, no, I definitely like it. There could be a lot of cool stuff thrown in here.
I'm hoping Rogue Sun's big bad is like Paladin Moon or something. Like it would be pretty sweet, but Moon Knight. It's Moon Knight fever that we're catching. It is cool to get, like, it is kind of like cosmic Batman kind of stuff, and it's not. Is Azrael cosmic? I know he went to space in Justice League Odyssey. That's all I know of him.
Azrael, yeah. I would say he's more supernatural. I'd say he's more supernatural.
Yeah.
But either way, he's got a cool design, and I actually like this character more than Azrael from what I've read so far. So yeah, I mean, I'm all for it. It's like a Death Knight. We've mentioned Death Knight before, but like with like a fire kind of spice to it. Like I think the design is freaking really cool. And
kind of Darkhawk, Ghost Rider.
Yeah. Yeah, all those things are awesome. So if you can get that kind of flavor into this, you got yourself a stew going, and they really do. As we head into the confrontation with Suave here, and I mentioned before, but I love the way this was handled.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool because as readers, we kind of know that he's gonna get destroyed. Like, or at least he's not gonna have a very
He
good,
definitely
very
doesn't
good
know
job.
that though.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah,
he doesn't know that, and right away, once we see him crash into the scene, we're just like, oh, this isn't gonna go well.
no, he pinballs off the alleyway and then hits a dumpster. Like it's rough. And hey, flying ain't easy. You know, it's not everyone has their Omnidad to teach them that it's just like peeing your pants on purpose. You really got to figure this shit out. So yeah, and I love. He's like, well, that was quite the entrance. And here I was just thinking you were dead. But he knows because you would know who your arch enemy or whatever, what he sounds like. And I love how they mentioned like the posture is different and everything. I think that was a nice touch.
Yeah, and we can obviously see that Suave isn't someone who's unfamiliar with Rogue Sun. They have a history, and it's obviously it seems kind of long too. Like they've fought multiple times in the past, and
It looks like a Heineken bottle in the bottom of the page there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then that's why we're able to, or not we, but that's why Suave's able to find out that this isn't the same Rogue Sun because he's just like, wait, like this dude doesn't even like this dude seems like an idiot. You know what I mean? Like
He doesn't have
Yeah,
even the
I-
retorts.
I
Yeah, he
do love
doesn't
that.
even
I
look
think we're
like-
gonna see that a few times for
Yeah.
sure.
yeah, and so he's just like, look, man, I'll hand myself in right now and leave, but what's my name? And he just we could just see that Dylan is an amateur at this. He has no idea what he's doing. You know, like he's a teenager. He's just a teenager at this point, like messing around, and he gets his ass whooped.
Does he like slash his face?
Yeah, dude, he gets slashed everywhere. Like this dude gets his ass like Dylan gets his ass whooped.
Dude, he should have done an S, gone old Zorro on his ass. That would have been sweet.
I just think it's convenient that he's just like this is the good old Gotham convenience right here, but obviously in this city it's just like now lucky for you I prefer thievery to murder, or lucky for you indeed, little Dylan.
Yeah, that he was suave. You know, I love it. The dialogue, this cleaning off the blade, like clean cut. See you later. I got this. I'm on the truck. Peace.
I like it. Yeah. This guy's got the confidence. It's gonna be tough for him too because a lot of these villains, we don't know how many villains Rogue Sun had. I'm assuming it's quite a bit because he's
been
been
on for a while,
in
yeah.
service. Yeah, he's been in service for a long time. But like they've all fought him, so they know his strengths, they know his
Yeah.
weaknesses. They might know this, so it's gonna be
And
tough
you-
for a new guy.
You think about like reading Strange #1 with Clea, Sorcerer Supreme. Like you think about the role of like Sorcerer Supreme, like that person has roles or things that they
Yeah.
have to do, and once the Sorcerer Supreme is like dead and there's a new one, like obviously some people are gonna take that opportunity to like, you know, penetrate certain barriers or you know, mess with the astral planes or whatever. And we've seen that happen during Death of Doctor Strange, and I feel like it's gonna be cool to, like Charlie said, explore that effect here in Rogue Sun because the mantle has been changed. And as we see here, the first reaction from Suave is immediately when he notices that Rogue Sun is coming is, I know that sound, it can't be. You know what I mean? So if he's saying it can't be, it means he must have gotten, like he must have
Just from
gotten
the
to know.
swoosh sound, he knows.
Yeah.
You know, that could
Yeah.
be the Human Torch coming by, but no.
Yeah, but he knows
Boom.
that
That's what it is.
that Rogue Sun is dead. So are people gonna take this opportunity of Rogue Sun being dead to, you know,
I mean,
go
that
back
might be
out
why
there? Yeah.
that might be why he chose to go to the
Yeah,
auction.
yeah.
'Cause
No,
it looked like his death
definitely
was
is.
pretty public too. Like he literally was in the middle of the street in front
Yeah,
of
yeah,
the
yeah.
house.
No, I'm saying that is the case.
Yeah, totally.
Good point. That's a good point. So yeah, we could see a lot of crime popping up because they're going to take advantage and they won't expect to see Rogue Sun. So it's going to be a surprise for both of them when they realize they have to deal with a new Rogue Sun. He realizes he's got to be a superhero. Plus his dad's going to be shitting on him the whole time if this last panel's any indication from this last page.
Yeah.
You're embarrassing me as his dad shows up. So I mean, this could be a vision, right? Unless he popped out of like the dumpster. I don't know where he's coming from in this alleyway, right? Unless he got like a hideout in it
Man,
or
I'm
something.
telling you, if you
Never
see
know. His suit's still
Peacemaker-
pretty clean
yeah.
though to be hopping out of the dumpster.
Good point.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Good point.
it's like the Peacemaker thing, man. That he might be alive. Yeah.
Oh,
he might,
yeah.
might be tripping.
Vigilante.
He might be alive. Oh man, Vigilante, man, he's the best.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Anyways.
I mean, let's make a predict. Do we think he's alive? What is his vision?
I think he's probably alive, but I also think, like Addy said, it could be like the Firestorm effect, where like the orb has him like, you know, like conjured up or some shit.
Because if that kind of makes sense with the splash page too, how those are Marcus's memories as Rogue Sun. And then
good point.
maybe that's how the stone
Yeah.
works. You get the previous owner to kind of tutor or mentor
Yeah.
the new owner.
It's not just Marshall getting stoned. I mean, this issue we saw him inherit it. There we go.
Dylan's on his way to get
I'll be here
stoned
till
too.
Thursday. I do think that's a good point with the memory sync. I think that's entirely on the table. He looked dead, but there is definitely a way to write your way out of that.
Oh,
Like
totally.
there's like 1,000 ways, so it could go either way. The fact that he looks just like that, though, it's not projecting anything. Like you'd think like maybe there'd be like a fire aesthetic if it was like a projection from the stone or some kind of like light kind of thing. But I am kind of leaning towards what Ali's saying.
Yeah, for sure. We don't even really know where this stone comes from yet or anything about that. So I don't know. Maybe that realm. Maybe he's trapped in that realm somewhere. I'd be curious to see if he can see farther memories down the line, like his great grandpas or something. His grandpas. I don't know. We'll see. But some cool stuff.
I'm interested to see. It's going to be tough doing some underage drinking, going to parties with your dad, always with you with this stone connection. That's going to suck.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be pretty annoying for sure.
Yeah, it's like doesn't chug a beer properly. Like you're embarrassing me, son. Like, Dad,
What a nightmare. What a nightmare.
Yeah, literally with the K. Yeah. So I really like this first issue. Like I actually really dug it. I'm intrigued. I'd give it an 8.5 personally.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Right, the same thing. 8.5. It was pretty
Same.
good. Great introduction. Good amount of action, backstory. Excited to see where it goes from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally agree. And I was also super happy with all the stuff at the back. Was not expecting that. I don't know if that was that announced? Was that told we were gonna get some cool extras?
I don't think so. Not as far as I know, but it was definitely a pleasant surprise to me.
Yeah.
Like, those
that's cool.
the inks and the whole process of how the script went, each panel by panel. That was pretty good insight to how their process worked.
I'm so happy for Ryan Parrott. You know he's pumped about this. I would be too. Rogue Sun is friggin' badass. Like I can't wait to go to cons and see like the poster of him and then like see Parrott doing signings. Like that's awesome.
He already stopped. Like if you were on social media today, he stopped at some shops, and I'm assuming California or wherever he lives. I think it's California.
Yeah, but
Stopped
I
at
just scroll past those
Yeah.
because I know I can't go.
Man,
there
he
and I think
signed
it's
a bunch of copies. No, but that's still cool. I don't know. Like for us, I was on Instagram. I saw that Jed stopped at our shop and he was signing a bunch of copies. And I got signed Strange #1 and Timeless #1.
Yeah,
so.
Jed's great. We
Yeah.
love Jed.
Yeah, Jed's the best. Yeah.
I want them to sign the Nova Scotia part on Supermassive when I see them. But I was gonna say, yeah, no, this was friggin' sweet, and I'm so pumped we got to interview these guys before the issues came out. Like this is sweet, and this universe is gonna flourish. Like you can tell,
Yeah.
this is a genuinely good shit made by people that love it with the freedom of image. Like it's only gonna go up from here.
Yeah, and if you enjoy Radiant Black, if you really enjoy Radiant Black and you're a fan of Radiant Black, then check out the Radiant Black Discord. We've got a lot of the creators on the Discord. We often talk about Radiant Black. We cover all the news. We provide links to all the exclusive variants as well as other variants that
As
come
this
out.
podcast was going, Basud will reveal what the letter column is going to be for Radiant Red. It's going to be called Scarlet Letter.
Yeah.
I don't know
Basuto's
if I'm
on there
supposed-
correcting everyone. He's basically the Discord editor as well, to be honest.
I was just about to say, how
Like,
many gigs is he in charge? Is he in
Like
charge of editing now?
this
He's like
this
public
man is
relations.
incredible.
He's PR
Yeah,
for that.
exactly. He's PR for the entire Massiveverse. Like he's the guy. Like he knows everything. Like he just knows.
And he's always sarcastic and hilarious. It's usually at night because of the time difference,
He's
and he
ace.
just pops up.
Yeah, he's the best. Like truly. Like Michael, if you're listening, you're the best. We all appreciate you. You're honestly the best. But no, like check out the Discord. Check out. Follow us on Twitter at Radiant Black Pod on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter at The Comic Chic. We always talk about comics. Check out Charlie on Twitter. What's your Twitter? I forget your Twitter.
At DC Cavalier, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, check out Charlie. Dude reads a lot of comics and got a lot of comic book knowledge. And he's also super into Radiant Black. We got a huge community here.
Are we gonna get a Radiant Black crossover in the future? I mean, if that stuff was in. If they showed Radiant Black, I imagine they're going to pop up.
I think the
think
chances
so.
for Radiant Black and Rogue Sun are definitely higher than Infernal Gore Red.
Yeah, I would agree with
They'll
that.
be like Invincible.
And they've already told us on the podcast when we interviewed them, they were like, if the circumstances are appropriate, they will 100% cross them over. There's no reason not to. Like, they're all part of the same playground now.
I mean, technically, Radiant Black already crossed over into Rogue Sun. He was in the first issue.
Yeah,
go to freaking
exactly.
basketball games together or whatever. Like they'll be drinking. They'll be like Marshall and Nathan at the bar planning how to like
Yeah.
write their next big movie or whatever. Like they're definitely gonna it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you never know. Like if Dylan wants to go meet other people that are super powered, and he's just like, oh, I saw this guy in my visions, right? When I touched the stone, like, who is he, right? Like that could be
That's
a way. Yeah,
that's what's going to be interesting when they do crossover because they kind of set this up where Marcus is talking to Marshall like, look, no one's going to help you, blah, 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 don't expect this, but like you got this on Roan. And then when he sees him again, he's like, oh, Marcus. And then the mask comes off. It's like, who the hell are you? Marcus is like, no, that was my dad. He's kind of a prick, but I'm Marcus or I'm Dylan. Like you can see it, like this.
Oh, for
It was
sure.
laid down. Like I'm excited. Like the threads are there and I'm intrigued.
That'll be
definitely.
good. Yeah,
Yeah.
just real quick, just looking at the cover for issue 2, like that little portrait looks like they're gonna be
Yeah.
replacing that portrait up in the front in the mansion there.
Oh shit.
We'll see.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, man, I'm telling you, I like this intense family drama situation we've got going on in the Rogue Sun comic. It's exciting.
Yeah, I
But
can't wait to see Dylan get superpower or Brock get superpowers and start killing people and ask why we shouldn't be killing people.
oh my God. Yeah, no, so
Can't wait.
yeah, I can't wait. So if you check out those socials, lots of good content there. And don't forget that, part of we're doing a Radiant Black giveaway, so I think we're currently at
360-ish.
we're currently at, I'm gonna look at the check right now. 364 followers on Twitter. Once we hit 400, we're gonna be giving away a Radiant Black trade paperback volume 2, which has issues 7 to 12. So all you have to do to be part of the giveaway is just follow us on Twitter and message us who your favorite character from the new Massive-verse expansions are from the new series. So tell us it's Rogue Sun, Inferno Girl Red, Dead Lucky,
Jace.
Jace, Radiant Red, Kevin McCatterson. There's a lot of amazing characters.
Oh, so it's not just the people in the crossover. We can say Kevin, and Kevin's always
I mean, Kevin just came out, so that's why I'll put him in there because the S tier, as voted by the community, of course. Uh, and yeah, we just want to apologize again for there won't be a recording or a video of the trivia night because there was
audio issues. Yeah,
unfortunately. But next year, you rest assured that we'll have that sorted. So
we'll have it sorted. And if we don't,
yeah.
the only way to guarantee you're going to hear it is to be there live in person. So join the
Yeah.
Discord.
There you go. Easy as that.
Exactly. And if you haven't gotten your foils or if you missed out on the Radiant Black foils, you missed out on other variants, like I said, come be part of the Discord. People are always looking out for each other. They're posting links. We're always there on time. Everyone's waiting. It's crazy. Got the Radiant Army, always ready to go. So, yeah. Anyway, thank you everyone for joining us today. It's been fantastic. I hope to see you all next time. Everyone stays radiant.